All right, SAT example number 81. The equation 1 over a plus 1 over the absolute value of a equals 0. Let me write that vertically so we can look at this a little bit differently. Well, if you're adding two fractions and they have the same numerator and they equal 0, that means the two fractions would have to have opposite signs. For example, 1/2 plus negative 1/2. That's going to equal 0. So if the two fractions are the same except for their signs, their sum will equal 0. So the object here is to figure out how many values of a there are that'll make that true. Well, being absolute value on that second fraction means that it's always going to be positive. So if you pick a negative number for a, such as -2, and you fill it in, you'd have 1 over -2 plus 1 over the absolute value of -2. Now, that equals 0 because, again, the second fraction, since its absolute value, becomes positive 1/2, and you have negative 1/2 plus positive 1/2, which is 0. Now, how many different numbers could you put in for a? Well, any negative number is going to work. So if you want to consider another one, for example, -3, if a is -3, first fraction, second fraction, 1 over the absolute value of -3, yeah, guess what? It's that same scenario where the two fractions will have opposite signs, therefore their sum is going to equal 0. So you can just keep going and going and going, -3, -4, etc., etc. So there are going to be an infinite number of solutions. Choice A, all done.